Alright, thank you for watching. An atheist has given me another opportunity to do good to those who despitefully use me. Okay, Ken Ham doesn't do something that bad, but still, Ken Ham, if you asked him about me, he would say I'm not a Christian. And maybe even go into more detail than that. But I am a Christian. But, an atheist made a video. Ken Ham is so close to Kent that I start saying Kent. Ken Ham still bearing false witness. And I watched the video and I got about 10 minutes into the 13-minute video and paused it and thought, I need to take notes and make my response video to this response video to a response video. So finlarg is the name of this YouTube channel, and the way this whole chain of videos got started off, Answers in Genesis, Ken Ham's group, put a 2-minute something seconds together video onto YouTube where he answers some accusations or things Bill Nye said and talks about him and Bill Nye and their debate in 2 minutes something seconds, so it's not a long video. But one of the things that Ken Ham pointed out that finlarg lied about, or maybe finlarg is just stupid, but either way, he did not give the truth. About in finlarg's video there was a magazine article in Popular Mechanics that was written by Bill Nye, or quoted Bill Nye, and let's see, but somebody made the point that Bill Nye and I watched the debate that Bill Nye and Ken Ham had, that Bill Nye was denouncing teaching of creation. And he was saying that we're going to have a lot of problems. America will fall behind the world technologically, and things will be terrible for us if we keep teaching creation. Finlarg said Bill Nye only meant teaching it in science classrooms. That's not clear from Bill Nye what he said. It's obvious to me. I watched the 2 or 3 hour long Bill Nye versus Ken Ham debate. I think you should all watch it. It was an interesting debate. But no, Bill Nye was just talking about it being taught at all. He wasn't talking about only in classrooms. Finlarg, Ken Ham said he doesn't believe in evolution, and finlarg went on a rant about, you don't believe, you accept the fact. No, you believe. Nobody has seen those things happen that finlarg believes happened 1 billion years ago and 500 million years ago. Finlarg, here's one of the lies I need to defend Ken Ham against. Finlarg accused Ken Ham of not understanding science or the difference between science and religion. But actually, Ken Ham does understand the difference between science and religion. Now, Ken Ham believes the science does back up his religion, but he doesn't, blend the two and say, see, science proves every single word. Some of what Ken Ham believes, he believes religiously, and he's, as far as I can tell, intellectually honest about the difference between the two. One of Ken Ham's points in the debate with Bill Nye was he asked for just one piece of technology that requires belief in evolutionism, belief in molecules to man, is the way Ken Ham described it, molecules to man evolution, meaning there's no God, and by random chance the first cell came together in the primordial soup, and natural selection and mutations have turned that into everything. So Ken Ham is asking, just name one piece of technology, because Bill Nye was saying in the debate, and maybe outside the debate too, that belief in God creating this world is counterproductive to technological advancement. And so, if it really is, counterproductive to technological advancement, he should be able to name one piece of technology that just couldn't have come together. And finlarg could have helped Bill Nye out there if you really need to believe that there is no creator, that all life on Earth has one common ancestor, and that, not believing that, gets in the way of technological development. They should be able to name at least one thing, one piece of technology. But finlarg could not name one. I've not heard of Bill Nye naming one piece of technology. Or if Bill Nye has named it, I haven't seen it named and proven. Technology's got nothing to do with what you believe about, the extreme past. finlarg made a stupid comment on. He made several stupid points. He said, evolution helps aircraft design. This is, wow, so stupid. No, it does not. You see, aircraft design has changed over time. The first aircraft that were created are not the same as the aircraft that are flying now. There have been improvements. But that improvement happened because of people thinking about it and designing. It was not random changes. It was people thinking about it and designing. So it's completely different than no designer, random mutations creating life. But I made a little diagram to illustrate how stupid it is to claim. A great example of how technology has nothing to do with what you believe about the past. You can believe the evolutionism religion and do good technological development. You can believe young earth creationism, old earth creationism, Hinduism, Buddhism. You can believe this isn't all real and we're just a figment of somebody's imagination in a computer program, and still do good science if you pay attention to what you're doing, if you build on discoveries of people in the past. But if it mattered what you believe about the past, then designing an airplane wing would look like this. Here's what really happens with airplane wings. There we go. So, there's a hump on the top of an airplane wing, and that makes the air go faster, so there's lower pressure there. And that's what gives an airplane lift. The slower air on the bottom makes high pressure, and that pushes the airplane up. For that reason, and the cars are shaped a little bit like that, you should not take a friend up on an offer to go for a ride in his car if he has attached a rocket to the back of it so it can go extremely fast. It will get lift at some point when it gets up to extreme speeds. See, that's what the air does no matter what you do. But if your beliefs mattered about what the air did, then the same hump went on an airplane designed by a young earth creationist would have the same airspeed and no lift and the same air pressure on the top and the bottom of the wing if your beliefs about the past mattered. But the air does not flow any differently based on the beliefs of the aircraft designer. The electricity does not flow any differently. The same size wire of the same material will have the same amount of electricity that it will be able to allow to flow through it, whether the person designing the electronic device is an atheist evolutionist or a theistic evolutionist. I'm sorry for wasting your time by repeating myself there. Or a young earth creationist or a Hinduist or believes that ancient Egyptian creation or the ancient Greek pantheon of gods and creation. It's all going to do the same stuff for you, no matter what you believe about the distant past. Finlarg claimed that microevolution just builds up to macroevolution, but it's never been seen happening, and what we actually see is things getting worse. You see, for macroevolution, or evolutionism to be true, for all life to have a common ancestor, things need to be survivable as they make changes. But what we see is things being less survivable. When things go from feathers to no feathers, it isn't. We don't have the birds that are born without feathers having lizard skin that would make them able to survive in the wild. Birds need their feathers. Even birds in hot places still have feathers because birds need their feathers. Bird skin without the feathers is going to be a problem for the bird. Now, if there was a chicken that had a featherless chicken with lizard skin come out of its egg, then you'd have a case. But you don't. Let's see. Oh, Ken Ham said something in his video. You can be an evolutionist, no, atheist or a creationist, and Ken Ham was not trying to say there's only two possibilities, but just list two different beliefs, and the science still works the same for you. So you can make new technology no matter what you believe. He wasn't trying to say there's only two possibilities, but Finlarg made it seem like Ken Ham was saying there's like only two possible beliefs that you could have about the past. Ken Ham made a connection between atheism and evolutionism. And that's a legitimate connection. Finlarg denounced that connection because there are Christians who try to juggle two religions. Evolutionism and Christianity. They're out there. I know one of them, but I'm not going to get more specific than that so I don't embarrass the person who's not making public statements. And maybe I'll come around and stop being a theistic evolutionist. We'll see. Let's see. Finlarg accused Ken Ham of polluting his science with his religion. No, Ken Ham does not pollute his science with his religion. Now, Ken Ham's not a good guy to go to. He's not the best option to go to for your religious beliefs. Ken Ham, if you follow his religion, he will lead you on the broad way to not get eternal life. Because Ken Ham is not completely right about everything. Let's see. Okay. Ken Ham talked about how we have laws of nature and laws of logic that are the same, and that's why we can do science. Gravity's going to stay constant because there's a lawgiver. Finlarg claimed that as anti-scientific to believe there's a lawgiver. But he was wrong about that. Ken Ham had a good point there. The laws of nature are constant, and that's why we can do science. We would not be able to do science if, a 10-gauge copper wire let a certain number of amps and volts through it today, and then tomorrow it was half that amount, and then 10 days later it was 100 times that amount. We need that consistency, and we do have it. Finlarg accused young Earth creationists of throwing their objectivity out the window and using an old book that supersedes the scientific method. The old book was the Bible. No, actually, there are young Earth creationists. I can't say with millions of people in the world, billions in the world, millions of Christians that nobody's doing what he's saying. But Ken Ham does not do that. He does have a belief in the Bible, but you could still look at what it says scientifically, and he comes up with some good conclusions. Finlarg was claiming that humans are animals, our Creator created us and animals both, so there's going to be similarities. And He made us and animals of similar parts, so we can eat them. That's a good thing. That's in no way proves common ancestry, though. So there are differences between humans and animals that are very important. Okay, Bill Nye definitely does teach that there's no purpose to life. So there's no God, nothing to do next. We don't really have a purpose to life. But finlarg was claiming that Ken Ham was lying when he says if you don't believe God made the earth, you don't have a purpose to your life. And wanted Ken Ham to get specific about Bill Nye teaching that. finlarg finished off the video by claiming that if Ken Ham stuck to religion, that finlarg would leave him alone. I'm skeptical about this, though. I doubt that finlarg would really leave Ken Ham alone if Ken Ham were, not talking about scientific facts. If he had a big following, I could see finlarg maybe still trying to make videos about him. But I don't know finlarg well, so maybe he was right about that. You have a good day. Thank you for watching. And Ken Ham did not bear false witness.